The fourth wall.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT post-show rewind for April the 9th, 2024. I am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, as always. Gentlemen, let's introduce ourselves and hop into tonight's proceedings. It was a pretty big show. You're muted, CJ.
CJ Carter. Yeah, I realized it as soon as I started talking. The problem is my thumb acts as kind of a block for this violently bright button. So, but it's also the mute button. So if I accidentally press it, then oops. CJ Carter here every Tuesday nights at CJ Carter 22, 24/7 on Twitter. And here to talk NXT again, ready for this first NXT of the new era.
Matthew Malik Wilson, 3NT Wrestling. Y'all already know what it is. You can find me anywhere. Yeah, it's my government name. It's hard to miss me. So if you're looking for me, that's how you find me.
Not hard to find. He's there, guys. He's easy to find.
I'm here every Tuesday and Friday, man. Y'all should be used to seeing me by now. Y'all know
Right.
what it is. Here to make CJ Carter's life terrible every Tuesday and Friday.
You know what? You have now, but in as far as making my life miserable, you now have to compete with the Final Testament.
Yeah.
So that's
we will.
you now have a high bar to clear.
Yeah.
We
Now, I brought them
Let's-
here. This was my energy.
let's-
But let's hop into tonight's closing segment before we get to the closing match. So tonight's closing segment saw Trick Williams make his way down to the ring to cut the hero's victorious promo, and solid promo as always. And he makes his intentions clear that he needs to capture that NXT championship, and he calls out the Mad Dragon. Gentlemen, what did you think of this promo and where we're at in that with him coming out to challenge or attempt to challenge Ela?
I thought it was great. I thought it was initially, this moment here, the handshake, very characteristic of Ilya Dragunov. And I thought even, out of respect, let's run it back. But I was very surprised for him to flat out say, no, I'm not going to, I'm going to reject your challenge, get to the back of the line. I was also very surprised that Carmelo Hayes decided to get involved. I thought he was going to ride off into the sunset, off to SmackDown. So this doesn't bode well for as far as NXT talent that are going to get called up in the draft. They should already have something in place for Melo. He closed the book on his story with Trick Williams. He can move on to something else, but it shouldn't be on NXT, and it shouldn't be for the NXT Championship.
Okay, I kind of disagree with just that point. Overall, I thought the segment was really, really good. The Dragunov saying no did kind of surprise me a little bit.
Felt heelish.
yeah, it kind of made me was like, okay, well, we're going to get the heel Ilya now. Like, is that what that is? But I thought it was par for the course for Trick Williams. He fit, like, we've all on the show agreed that the next path for him should be the NXT title. He's super over. He's pretty much over on every show. The crowds know who he is. They chant "whoop that Trick" any chance they get any chance they get, and they don't do it only in Memphis, which is shocking to me. I thought it was just a Memphis thing. Apparently, that it's not. So that's showing us where Trick Williams is as far as the crowd. As far as Carmelo Hayes goes, if there's nothing for him to do, might as well keep showcasing him on NXT. You know what I'm saying? Like, the draft is only 20 days away, less than that, 18 maybe. So go ahead and put him in there with a cage match. Now, I understand a cage match is kind of hard to get by because there's a possibility he could get injured in matches like that. So I don't necessarily agree it should have been a cage match. But hey, it's NXT, it's a new era. We going big or we going home. So I get why they did that. But I understand why Carmelo Hayes is not on the main roster yet. Maybe Triple H just doesn't have anything for him yet. So it's like, hey, just go down to NXT, clear out this rivalry once and for all. Hopefully we don't get Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes as the new Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and this continues for years. Hopefully it's not that, but I don't think it will be.
But that's what I thought we were going to see after WrestleMania, after Stand and Deliver. Like, we were finally going to get that story finished once and for all. Another story finished, shout out Cody Rhodes. And I really thought that we were going to get Trick Williams standing on his own, building off his own momentum, not having to deal with Carmelo Hayes, and then Mello himself being able to carve a new path for himself on the main roster. This, and don't forget, Mello has also been on SmackDown for a considerable length of time. Like, he was called up a while ago and already said, okay, let's send you back down to NXT, finish up this this story you've got. And that should have been this new era. He should be on SmackDown as part of whatever Triple H is building.
Do you think at this point they are just going to wait for the draft to properly attach him to SmackDown?
I think so, because Raw after WrestleMania wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. So it kind of seems like we're in a little bit of a cool down period after WrestleMania since emotions were so high. And plus with the draft so close, I mean, there's not anything really serious for you to put him in there if he's just going to end up not being on SmackDown and possibly being on Raw. So I get it. Maybe that's just what it is. We're just in a cool down period.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was just necessary to have more muted expectations about the Raw after WrestleMania because of how high expectations have got for that show over the years, if that kind of makes sense. But I definitely thought, as far as the NXT after Stand and Deliver goes, it sets up very nicely for what these future matches are going to be.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's going to be a good match, and I agree, making it a cage, that does raise the risk factor. But, they had their, a singles one-on-one match at the PLE, so it kind of makes sense they had to add a little something extra to, make it more of a blow-off to the feud. I mean, because historically, that's what the cage match would be used for, was kind of the, defining end of a feud. Of course, then eventually the cage didn't become enough, and we had the Hell in the Cell, and that became the defining endpoint of the feud. But luckily, we've never gone back to the triple cage system from WCW.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. As shown in the groundbreaking classic film Ready to Rumble.
One of my favorite films of all time.
Just don't put that triple cage stuff out into the ether, man. Like, that's not something you need to be putting in anybody's head. We know they watch our show.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But we're saying don't do it. We're saying don't.
Are you blaming me for Final Testament then? Is that what you said? You blaming me?
If anything, I'm blaming me, because it's like they want me to suffer. So they're like, all right, well, we had you have to deal with him on Friday. Then you dealt with him on WrestleMania weekend. Now we're sticking him to you on NXT as well. I would not be surprised if it's just an all-out assault on my well-being and enjoyment of professional wrestling.
This does feel
They gave you Cody, man, a fair trade-off.
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of the deal. They're like,
Yeah.
Cody gets you in, but you're going to have to deal with Gary and Cross.
Mhm.
Well, this makes sense. This is like the monkey paw.
okay.
You know what I mean? You made the wish and the finger went down, but this is the repercussion for it.
All right, I'll live with it then.
Yes,
I mean,
that's what I'm talking
we
about, CJ, the
well,
positivity.
I still got to talk about the match later on, but
Which we will. But
Yes,
that thing else on
begrudgingly.
segment tonight, gentlemen.
No, I think that was
Great segment.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll hop around to the front of the show here tonight. Of course, we were back in the Performance Center here this evening. Now, we open with a quick recap of Stand and Deliver, and Alicia Taylor introduced the new NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez, and Roxy makes her way to the ring there because it is Tuesday night Roxy after all, guys. So, cuts a promo. They didn't let her go too long on her own on the mic, which is, again, we've discussed, her heel mic work leaves a little bit to be desired. But I think she's improving. She seemed to come along a little bit better tonight, felt a little more natural. Her interplay with the crowd came off as a lot more natural. As they were chanting, "You deserve it," and she shut that down really quickly, telling them all to shut up and that she doesn't need their "you deserved it" chants. And very quickly interrupted by Lyra. Drama ensues. Guys, what'd you think of the opening promo this evening? Goodness.
Man, I didn't feel the way you felt. I don't know. Maybe y'all did this because at first I was rooting for it, and then maybe y'all corrupted me. I don't know. Like I was thinking, like the whole time she was talking, I was just kind of like, it just still doesn't feel natural to me. I like to play with the crowd and telling them, hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that. I like that. I thought that was a big improvement. But my thought was, I think she needs to do a little bit more crazy stuff because the way she talks is like she's not mentally stable.
Mhm.
Just the way she like drags her words and things like it's just like there's something like missing there. So I don't know if I'm having a disconnect with her promo because I need to see a little bit more heel work on screen. Like what she did to Lyra was crazy the other day, but I feel like she needs to be more ruthless in her actions in order for the promos to line up to me. So, but I'll pass it to CJ after that. That's all. That's my only thought on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like one of the notes that I had was delivery still feels awkward, but she's improving. Like I loved that bit of crowd work as well. I thought it was fantastic. And she does have a better handle with this version of her heel character. So props to her for already having come as far as she has with it. The segue into a feud with Natalya based on what I'm guessing was that whole interaction that they had backstage at Raw. Tyler, if you can if I'm wrong, correct me, but it was literally just they ran into each other and Natalya's like, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow night." And that was basically it.
That was the long and short of it. She was walking through just the backstage hallway after her match on Raw last night, and just kind of bumped into Natty, and that was kind of the long and short of it. They didn't officially announce the match until this promo here. I thought that they kind of made it an obvious foregone conclusion because I thought that they said last night that Natty was going to be wrestling Roxanne. Yes, the Roxanne just blatant staring. Really, I mean, it's just.
She was reading the match information. She had it written down. That's what it was.
There you go. She was just
definitely, that's definitely what it was.
Right. That's Roxy. But so Lyra wanted her rematch tonight, and that obviously could not happen as she is not cleared to wrestle. And out comes Tatum Paxley, her friend, her ally, her confidant.
Where the hell did she appear from? That was super weird.
Yeah, she was just in the crowd, just bam.
Popped up like, oh shit.
Yes, that is the best way it can be put. Tata and Lyra's totally platonic heterosexual relationship comes to an end tonight, very sadly, when she tosses her former friend into the ring steps, further injuring the shoulder there.
I thought this would have had more momentum if it cost her the title at Stand and Deliver. Like, I'm glad that Roxy won it on her own and without help, but at the same time, it feels like that collision at ringside still had a little bit of impact, and then her blow up on Tatum backstage on the afternoon. So it still feels like it would have had more weight if it wasn't on the like sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. If it would have happened on the day, yeah, it would have probably had more weight to it.
You feel like it would have been more effective if it happened on NXT Stand and Deliver than tonight?
Yeah, well, it's like
It would have gotten a bigger crowd reaction for sure. I mean, being on such a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of saw this coming. It was going to happen eventually. I mean, what pointed out to me from her was when she said, well, you're not champion anymore. So obviously that's the reason why she was there, was for that NXT championship. You don't have it anymore, so there's no really need for me to be friends with you. So I got it. You know what I mean? Like, I totally got it. You're not about to come over here and get another rematch. Like, no, I'm good with that. Get in the stairs. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, so
I liked it. I liked it. Go ahead.
We've all said this before, but like Tatum's character work has just been so like top notch with this transition. I mean, I think without question the best work she's done in NXT as far as character development. But yeah, so I mean, she was walking that crazy line anyway, and you know, this is her full heel turn tonight. And like I said, I agree with you, Matthew. I thought it was great. I thought it was well delivered. And Steve, I do agree with you as well. I feel like the reaction would have maybe had a little more statement. I guess the idea here is like we're probably going to not see Lyra for a little bit.
I mean, they said they further injured her, didn't they? In the broadcast,
but they didn't really specify what the injury was or how long she might be out for.
Well, and NXT does love to do their false injury angles.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, they're gonna be out 6 to 8 weeks. Oh, she's back already, like 3 weeks later.
Next week. So anyway, you over under promise, over deliver, that whole kind of thing there. But Roxanne pleased with Puncher. There wouldn't have to be a title match tonight until Natty's music hits, and out rolls Natty and challenges the match, and it's very quickly made official as Ava comes out. And I gotta give Ava some props tonight. You know, last time we said that she was coming along even better tonight. Like, this is the best she has sounded on the mic. Those acting lessons are starting to really pay off for her. My only critique is that she was dressed like one of J-Lo's backup dancers from 2005. Like,
I wasn't paying attention to J-Lo in 2005, so
you're a general manager. You should have been.
He looked at, but she was at her peak back then.
But she's a general manager. It's a dumb critique, but like, just dress slightly more for the part. I feel like I was ragging on her for her inability to be on the mic. She gets better there, and now I'm just like, wear better outfits. But clearly I'm a bastion of fashion. But
we need more regular fashion police, Tyler. You need to start cutting on all their outfits, because WWE stylists have been getting away with this for far too long.
Which coming from me, which I great value Mick Foley over here, but like nonetheless, she could do better with those outfits.
Well, I mean, Seth Rollins is my guy, but you see what they let him get away with. So.
That's true. They're probably like, look, as long as you're paying for it, we don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's comfortable, you wear what you want. I don't give a shit.
But the match made official, and we'll talk about the match a little bit later. But what do you think of them bringing Natty down to NXT again? Is this going to be a long-term thing? Because we'll talk about the match a little bit later, but it looks like there's still some unfinished business with Lola Vice there. Mm-hmm. Is Natty going to be around for a while?
I mean,
That's the
maybe
vibe
like
I'm getting.
Any
Oh,
chance
go
she
ahead.
gets drafted?
Could be. I mean, is this okay? While we're talking about the draft, do we think this is a year where we actually see talent drafted to NXT?
They implied that really heavily last night on Raw when we had all three of the general managers in there. They were all quipping about kind of poaching talent from one another. It very well could be. I mean, we've seen main roster talent go back down to NXT for different reasons, and it work out well for them. I mean, I don't think Dominic Mysterio would be where he's at right now without having held that NXT North American Championship for as long as he did and being on both shows. That really helped raise his star in the company. And again, we'll talk about with AOP and Karrion Kross showing up down there. It's kind of hard to say, but I think CJ, I think this might be actually the year that happens. I joked last night that there was no chance in hell it would, but maybe they're going to start treating NXT as like, yes, it's the developmental brand, but it's still a place that vets want to be because there's still something to be proven there for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Natty being there will be good, man. Get a veteran in the locker room. Natty seems to be the woman that everybody turns to for advice. I think she'd be great in the NXT locker room to kind of further develop people like Roxanne. Get them a fast track to get into the main roster so you could bring in more talent and bring in more, you know what I'm saying? Start building up more talent. So you already have those stars in the top.
Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, guys, anything else on the opening segment this evening?
Good stuff.
All right, roll it in. Chase U time, gentlemen. Chase U here. John's new favorite faction in NXT. Thanks, Thea Hale. But Chase U segment.
Thank you.
We learned some new startling information here this evening with Chase U regarding the gambling debts that Andre Chase initially had. Drama,
did not
gentlemen.
See that coming
drama.
at all.
I did not see that. Thea Hale in loss cost all that money. It's not her fault though. Like that's the thing. Like JC Jane was framing it like, oh, it's Thea Hale's fault. It's like,
oh yeah,
she didn't make the fucking bet.
And
like
I still can see where Thea is twisting it to fit that narrative too in her head of like, yeah, no, if I didn't or if I was doing better in the match and Andre Chase didn't have to throw in the towel, then I wouldn't have cost the university. Like there's always gonna be that sort of voice in the back of her head now, and it's just so evil. Such an evil thing for JC Jane to do, knowing exactly what that was going to do to Thea Hale. Just mind-blowingly evil.
there are some mean girls at Hickenbottom High. That is without question.
Oh, 100%.
Is anybody going to lock him up for embezzlement at this point? Isn't that embezzlement? Use the money from the college to make a bet, isn't it? It sounds like embezzlement to me.
It does. And I don't know if is Chase U a public university or are they a private university?
I mean, they let everybody in, so
that's true. So they have open enrollment, if nothing else.
Yeah, obviously, right?
Passing out honorary degrees for no GD reason. Like,
yeah, man, like, no.
That's what would have pissed me off if I was Thea Hale. It's like, hold on, I've been attending this college for how long? And I don't have a diploma? They get one just for being in the 6-woman tag? Come on. That's why she walked out.
Did anybody look into those calendars? Those girls were prostituting themselves for that school.
Honestly, I thought that's why JC Jane was there. I thought she was there to collect her check from the calendars.
From their
She's getting it done.
I thought it was just, because it was D'Angelo's that were the ones being owed money, that if there was any sort of legal scrutiny around that money, it's like, oh, don't worry, we'll take care of that.
Right.
Okay. All right.
But as Chase U segments go, this one was better. It flowed pretty well. Still, there's going to be always a bit of corniness to it, but at least it wasn't like they've not been the central focus of the show for a couple months. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Even just to think about how stupid of a bombshell we thought it was when it was like, oh, it was Andre Chase gambled away Chase U funds. And it's like now looking back on it and the stories kind of come full circle. What do we think about that moment looking back on it?
It was still over dramatic and a little hokey, but like the story, it's not bad. Like we give him a lot of shit, but like it's coherent. It's made sense from start to finish.
Mhm.
So credit where credit's due on that. It's just that the financial woes of a 1960s themed wrestling university, just not my favorite aspect of the week to week storytelling.
Understandable.
I don't
That's fair.
follow legitimate college sports, for God's sake.
Me neither. I'm a sports guy. So what does that tell you? Me neither.
But no, so I'll say it's at least mostly a fun storyline.
Man.
Yeah.
But that'll take us to our first match we had this evening. Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan taking on Kiana James and Izzy Dame. James and Dame pick up the win here in just about 7 minutes. Gentlemen, what do you think of the match this evening?
Take it away, CJ. I actually missed this match, so you got it.
All right then. Yeah, I thought this was a great match. One thing that I actually noted before the match started, I think most of the women in this match would make great first North American champions. Like unfortunately, I just don't see Izzy Dame at that level yet, but I mean Fallon Henley, Kalani Jordan, Kiana James, each of these women would make a phenomenal champion. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they decide to do with that championship. As far as the match goes, I don't know if I'm getting a sense of resentment from Fallon Henley towards Kalani Jordan. Was anybody else picking up on that after the match?
I did that. My only concern there is I feel like we've just had so many heel turns in the women's division in NXT. If they are planning a turn for her, this needs to be like an incredibly slow burn, even by like Triple H HBK standards. This needs to be an incredibly slow burn. Like maybe this is the very first fracture, and we're looking at like months down the line before that happens. I mean, we just had Paxley do it, It feels a
But
little.
like, does she need to be a heel? Like, does she need to turn?
I don't think so, really. Like, I think her face character has been fine. Like, her breaking away from Briggs and Jensen has been really well done. I think she's honestly of the three. I think she's standing on her own the most successfully out of those three. So it's like I don't really.
Also, we got that update on Josh Briggs, his medical update in that last segment of the night. What was it? 2 broken ribs?
Yeah, 2 broken ribs. Yeah,
Jeez.
but yeah,
In
but
the
I mean,
Oval match, the triple threat match, you got that?
yeah.
Yeah.
What spot?
I'm not sure do you know what the spot was, CJ?
Oh, don't think they pinpointed it on TV, but I would imagine just there was a splash near the end of the match, wasn't there?
So much.
Yeah.
I feel like that probably
Yeah,
some
I was gonna
kind
say
of
I feel
splash.
like you're right, Matthew. Man, over the last like 4 or 5 days, we've watched so much
Yeah,
wrestling.
it's like that meme. I watched 14 hours of WrestleMania this weekend. Like,
It was
yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty close.
Yeah, that's what we did, guys. But
I didn't have a take, but for my take, I do have a question to pose to you too. CJ, you mentioned that you could see everybody in this match possibly being women North American champions, but you did say you didn't feel like Izzy Dame is to that level yet. Why not? What does she need to do to get to the level where you feel like she's deserving of getting that championship?
It's kind of like a time in thing for me. Like
Okay.
I've seen Kiana put in the work. I've seen Fallon Henley put in the work. I've seen Kalani Jordan, even though she's still relatively new as well. I've
Mhm.
seen her put in the work, and she's really gotten over. So I think the crowd would love to see her be the North American champion in particular. But I think for Izzy Dame at the moment, we've only really seen her in a limited capacity. So if she really was wanting to stand out on her own, she's gonna have to do it eventually. And I don't see a sidekick winning a championship.
Sure, right on. All right, so that will bring us to we had a quick couple segments here, and then one of the matches I was most looking forward to this evening. But before we get there, we had a quick hype segment for Javon Evans. Speaking of which, dude is 19 years old, and
Crazy.
as we saw tonight, like he's definitely got some chops on him already. I
I hate this.
Oh
I threw my
God.
phone when I saw this.
Oh my god. It's in the universe. It's out there. It's happening. But no, like he's I'm not quite sure what to take from his character. You know, very laid back kind of personality, little light stoner vibe. You know, there's nobody really doing that kind of angle down there at NXT right now, so it could definitely be a good niche for him. But you know, we'll get to the match in just a bit too. But guys, what you think of his promo package?
Dude is a star in the making. Like he has the vibes of well, and I think I called him it on Saturday, a less problematic Matt Riddle. And I mean,
Just thinking that. Oh shit.
even during the match, like I'll mention it more when we break down the match, but like he is an incredibly talented, and
Mhm.
in the same vein as like an Obafemi, like if they strap a rocket to him and just decide to push him, I think he'd be able to handle it well.
Absolutely.
I don't really have much to add. CJ took my thought directly from
Right.
me. I star, and he reminds me of Matt Riddle, just probably without all of the problems and a lot more athletic.
Mhm.
A lot more athletic. I see them pushing him to the moon.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't necessarily heard his mic work yet, but if he gets on that mic and it hits, sky's the
It's
limit
off to the
for him.
races. Yeah.
It's off to the races with him.
Yep.
Like the stuff I
Mm.
saw in the ring tonight was amazing. So
Yep.
yeah,
But
Absolutely.
even if he doesn't hit well on the mic, just give him a mouthpiece and
Yeah.
have them talk, and
Yep.
just until he gets a little bit better on the mic, then
Yeah.
see what he does. But yeah, definitely very talented in the ring for sure.
Now, before we get into Javon Evans' debut match on NXT television, we did have one more quick backstage segment with the No Quarter Catch crew, the new version of the No Quarter Catch crew, minus Gulak. That's, if you know, it's been in the news a bit. There was some alleged inappropriosity between him and Ronda Rousey. Yes, in that picture I shown, they removed his name from the Tron video, so they will be going forward without him. But they were approached by the family backstage, which set up for a tag match later in the evening. But yeah, I just wanted to, and we'll talk more about them as we get to that match. But yeah, so set up for that, and yeah, this is a different No Quarter Catch crew. But that'll take
Well,
us
and there
in.
was a sorry, just while we're talking about that segment, there was a line that I can't remember who said it. It might have been Charlie Dempsey, but it was something to the effect of they have a standard that not even we are exempt from. Like I pretty heavy-handed as far as implicitly saying, yeah, Gulak is out. Um uh, do we see them adding a fourth member, or are they going to continue as a trio?
I mean, I was thinking Regal, but the interaction that he had with his son didn't seem like it would be really positive to put him in there because his son wants to be better than him. So there's a rivalry there already. So it would be kind of weird to put him in there. But I'm fine with it just
That's
being
fair.
them three. Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure who else. CJ, I mean, asking that question, did you have anybody in mind that you would like to see slotted into that fourth spot if they do that?
I think that if they I was trying to think of I'm gonna have to scroll through their roster page. I had like I can s- I can't even see his face. Like it's just a gray blob. Yeah, I'm gonna have to scroll through their roster page and see if I can find it.
I
But
just got an idea. There was a little dissension in between Metaphor tonight. I caught that. What if? What if Noam Dar Weasels is playing there?
Into the no quarter catch crew.
No quarter catch.
I
Could be with the cups again. That would be super crazy.
Oh, because he would technically be the champion again.
Right. Like, that would be-
Like some sort of like R-Truth-esque like weeks
Yeah.
long storyline where he just tries to get into no quarter catch crew.
Yeah.
That could be fun. That could be
honestly
fun.
I was gonna say I see our truth having more of a likelihood getting into the Judgment Day than Noam Dar getting into the no quarter catch crew.
I just threw it out there, man. It's quick idea.
Oh man, anything is possible in the WWF. I mean NXT. You know what I mean. But that'll take us into our next match of the season. We had Javon Evans making his NXT debut against Scripps. Good opponent for him. Just again, given how ungodly athletic Javon Evans is, right out the gate, like the man doesn't jump as much as he just seemingly lifts without the the shackle of gravity and just flies around the ring. He reminds me of when I first saw ACH. If I haven't seen ACH in a minute, so I don't know what ACH is doing these days. But when I was going to a lot of Ring of Honor shows there for a few years, like he was on almost every single card there for probably 3 years straight that I went to. And like again, the dude just flew. Like it's like acrobatic ain't even the word to describe it. But I'll step back, guys. What do you think of his debut match tonight?
I'm gonna be real quick, CJ. Star. Just star, man. No, not that. but star, man. Like you said, Tyler, it's like gravity doesn't apply to him. Like when he's in the air, it's like Michael Jordan. If I'm gonna go ahead and be real with you, it's like Michael Jordan. It's like when he jumps, he floats in the air on everything that he does. There's hang time. Like I said, man, I'm super excited to see what he does. I thought it was great to put him in there with Script, somebody that's athletic as too, to be able to highlight his ability, because Script is small. So you put Javon in there with him, it's like, well, he's a lot taller than Script, and he's this athletic. I thought that was the perfect opponent for him, but I got Star over Javon. I really do. I can't wait to see what NXT has in store for him.
I was gonna make that mention as well, like just to see them both in the ring together, the size difference between Scripps and Javon Evans. I'm like, that is a whole other Scripps on top of Scripps to make Javon Evans. But no, this was a fantastic match, and I mean, I was kind of getting comparisons to like 2008 Kofi Kingston, where he was like very athletic, not a very big guy, but
same build,
but
sure.
Yeah, like he's got definitely workable talent. Like he just if he just continues to improve and stays knock on wood injury free, then I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
What I'm hoping is they learn their lesson with Swerve and they give him more of a push than they gave Swerve in the NXT. Like I'm hoping they don't make that mistake, because I kind of see that potential with him. Like I don't want to jinx him and say world title picture. I don't want to do that, because that's what Swerve is currently. But I do see a lot of potential in him to being a big time star going forward.
Guys, you said he was 19 years old.
19.
Yeah.
19.
I'm of two minds with this, because I've been of the mindset that some guys who are in WWE right now got picked up too early. And by that, I mean they weren't given an opportunity to really find themselves before getting put into the system into the system. Probably the best way to say it without insulting anybody. But I kind of worry for a kid like Javon. As good as he is, as talented as he is, as great as the company is with wrestlers now, it's 19 years old. When did he start training? Yesterday? Like,
What didn't he come from somewhere though?
He came from DPW. I imagine he Deadlock. I'm sure he had other shit. But is someone chewing? Deadlock Pro Wrestling is where he made his name for a couple years now. I imagine he's been training or has been trained for at least 5. One of those people who started training at 15 or some shit like that. But I look at Pete Dunne and I look at Tyler Bate and I'm like, God, man, I would hate to see that happen again, especially at 19 years old. Like, fuck. He's got so much potential. I really hope it works out. You mentioned Swerve, and I remember one of his issues was that they didn't really see who he was. And this was in Triple H's NXT. Like, this was into Triple H's vision because Swerve had mentioned that, like, man, they saw me and they just saw the hip hop guy. And like, you know what I mean?
I was about to ask you, John, if you feel like, maybe if since this is a different era, like maybe he'll be okay. But if that happened on the Triple H's watch, then.
But this the thing too. No, it happened on the Triple H's watch, right? But this is HBK's NXT, right? HBK don't got no problem seeing a dude as a hip hop guy. HBK is the dude who's yelling at Road Dogg for having the wrong ideals in the middle of a meeting. So, Javon might be well off here, but I certainly do worry. I'll keep that in mind. I just wanted to bring that up. I didn't mean to fuck up the love fest. I'm sorry.
No. Still excited, still positive. And again, just another kind of concern being as young as he is too. It's just, the industry can be rough on people. But again, I don't think it's as rough as it once was. I think that, with just modern sensibilities and whatnot, it's, a safer environment across the board. But hey, we'll see what the future holds for him. He's phenomenal to start. I mean, the literally young crop of talent that NXT has right now. Wrestling, I think in general, it's safe for a long time. Like there's a lot of skill coming up, but
for sure.
But that'll transition us into a backstage segment from earlier in the day. Kelly Kincaid trying to catch a word with Ridge Holland after he attacked kind-hearted, lovely Joe Gacy. Was explaining that. He said he wanted to apologize until Joe started talking to him, and then he was like, no, I made the right decision, and ends up attacking the members of the LWO. Rich is just a menace.
He didn't even attack them either. Like, they're still setting him up to be the guy that injures people by accident. So, like, even just closing a door on a member of the LWO's finger. I didn't see if that was Wild or Del Toro. But I'm done with Ridge Holland. I can't tolerate this. Like,
is that his gimmick? Is he just a clumsy dude?
Well, and it's not even
is
clumsy.
Is he Lenny from Of Mice and Men? Is it like that kind of thing?
Okay, like but we've seen this develop over the last few months that he's been on NXT of like I'm trying to not be the kind of competitor that injures people, and like every time he quote unquote injures somebody, like it happened with when he injured Ilya Dragunov, I think was the night Cora Jade got injured. And then like so on and so forth. But I can't get on board with it. I think the whole narrative of hurting people in story while people are actually getting injured is not the right direction. So they seem to be really sticking with it. So I'm just wiping my hands of Ridge Holland. I'm done.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm wiping my hands with him yet. I just think he's bipolar. He got that Bruce Banner thing going on. Like where you was dressing all black, you was somebody in the back with a chair, and now you're showing up to apologize. You really got this Bruce Banner thing going on. So I am kind of intrigued by it now, just because of that. Like I guess I've talked myself into being interested in what Rich Holland has going on, just because I thought about that. Like he's a little bipolar. Like I thought
like
you
a
were
bad
just full
temper kind of thing.
Yeah, like I just thought you were full heel turn now. Like I thought that's what was going on. I thought you were aligning yourself with Sean Spears or whatever it was, whatever Sean was saying to you finally got through, and you were just going to embrace ruthless aggression, no point intended. But nah, he showed back up to apologize, and he was right to hit Joe Gacy with a chair because Joe Gacy was talking that shit to him. So he definitely deserved that chair shot. And whatever the LWO got, they deserved. They got.
Damn.
You call for help because a door closed?
There.
They called for help because a door slammed on his hand. Really?
It was a fire door. Those things are heavy.
Really?
It was an emergency exit. Those things have to be fireproof. Don't at me.
You don't call out for help for your boy when he gets his hand smashed in a door? Come on, CJ.
Fake friend.
Where's your loyalty at?
What do you mean my loyalty? I'm the devoted friend that is calling for help.
Wipe some dirt on it.
Walk it off. It's my hand.
It's your hand, bro. Like you're fine.
Walk on your hands. It's fine.
Good. Come on now.
You know what? If Elton Prince wants to be in a wheelchair for his shoulder injury, all the power to him. Like that's the kind of energy I bring to a friendship.
Maybe that's what Carlito's problem is. It isn't Ray. He realizes that everybody in LWO is SAWFT.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, gentlemen, we'll move into the NXT Women's Championship match. Natalya taking on Roxanne Perez. Tuesday night, Roxy. Roxanne picks up the win here in 11 minutes and 26 seconds after a distraction and interference from Lola Vice. Guys, what do you think of the match tonight?
I mean, I thought it was okay. I wasn't too invested in it. It just felt like I'm glad Roxanne won.
Yes, I saw some complaining online about that too. People were like, "Oh, Natty should have beat her for it." It's like, why?
I get why. I get why they would say that, because Roxanne's comments during her promo, like, I might as well just take this to Raw. I might as well just take that to SmackDown. I was like, well, shit, you might lose tonight. Like that's kind of how I felt about it when I saw Natalya in there. So I kind of get the complaints. I'm happy that she won, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Set that storyline up for later. You got weeks to worry about the draft. Don't do that now. It'd be weird. But I thought it was a really good match, CJ. Roxanne kind of shut me up because she was my jobber of the night until I saw her in the match. And I was like, oh, shit, well, damn, she can wrestle her ass off. And perfect person to do that with is Natalya.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the last time I've seen a Natalya match that was bad. That was her fault.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So I thought it was a great match. I really did. I enjoyed the match a lot. I didn't enjoy the end. I'll get to that later. But other than that,
the match
was good. Yeah, the match was good. Yeah.
I agree with that. I thought it was, so you know what you're going to get out of Natty. Natty is like I said, she's a consummate professional. She's who young talent should want to work with. Like if you're on the house show circuit, you want to be booked against Natty Neidhart for that entire circuit, because you are going to learn so much working those matches up and down the road with her. She's just, I mean, and it's not just, the dynasty from which she comes. I mean, it's just, she's that talented on her own. And, I'm glad to see that like she suffered through an era where it was not about women's wrestling at all.
Yeah.
She barely had anybody to work with. And I'm glad that, she's still, now she's getting that attention. She's getting those props. People realize we knew all along Natty was that goddamn good. But now people, truly recognize it. And it's sad. The only drawback is it came so late in her career. If she went, if we could have had this level of women's wrestling 15 years ago, would have been a whole different spectrum. But but solid match. Good first defense for Roxanne. The finish did take a little bit away from, I guess, like her toughness or believability. But, Matthew, you said you had some issues with that. I'm going to let you take the ending of the match here.
That was it. I just didn't get the Lola Vice thing. I'm fine with Lola Vice interfering. Like, that's not the issue here. You kicked her in the shin, and it didn't even look like it hurt. Like, it was just like, like if you get in a fight. Well, I don't have any siblings, but I imagine if you get in a fight with your sibling and they just like quick kick you, that's all it was. It wasn't enough for Natalya to win the match. Plus, when she rolled up to her, she looked like she didn't really know what to do. Looked kind of like a little weird to me. So that was my only issue with the end of the match. Like that, I just felt like if she was going to attack now Natalya, she could have done I don't want to say use a chair, but it could have been a lot more to hinder her from winning the match from what I saw. But that was my issue with the ending.
I did find it interesting too that unless I missed it on commentary, was there any mention of Roxanne Perez winning on Raw last night?
I don't remember if it was. I think so. I think they did mention.
Did they?
That.
Okay.
They would have mentioned it, yeah, but they didn't like show footage from it or anything.
I know, like she brought it up at the top of the show, but I didn't know if commentary kind of reiterated that.
Has notoriously weak shins. Really, is that a fact?
Is that true? I thought that was one of the.
Apparently,
I don't know if that's a fact or not. So.
I thought that was one of the Bellas. I thought that was Nikki Bella. I thought she had bad shins from her years and years of soccer. But I don't know. Maybe that's it. Like, Daddy went down. It hurts getting kicked in the shin.
I've had shin splits. Shin splits hurt like hell. Like, I get it, but it was just. That was it. Like, okay.
Have you ever been kicked in the shins by someone with legs the size of Lola Vice? Could you imagine one of them things coming your way, man? Come on, man.
It wasn't like a full out like roundhouse kick. It was just like that was it. Like if it looked like she wound up and then kicked her, yeah, like I get it. But it was like here. Lose. Like that's what it looked like.
Take your bottom high, man. Not all of them make it out.
Jesus.
So we had a quick backstage segment with Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin prepping for their match, slapping the shit out of each other, having a good time. This has been one of my favorite tag teams of the this current NXT era. Well, hell, I might even buy a Wolfdog shirt. Who knows? We'll see. But
only if they'll like modify it to say Corbron.
If it's a Team Corbron on the back, I definitely would have already bought it. But
I love that they're planting the seeds for Corbin to try to worm his way back to the main roster. Like him talking about how, oh yeah, you're having so much fun hanging out backstage. Like they're having this back and forth sort of banter, but subliminally he's trying to plant the seeds of like, hey, you're actually having fun. Well, bring me back to SmackDown with you. But now that they're not we'll cover the match result later, but if they're now on if they don't have a future together as a tag team, like do we see Corbin sticking around NXT?
I don't. I don't think there's any need for him to be there anymore. I think I've said it a couple times on this show. Like, when is Baron Corbin going to get called up? Like, I think now is pretty much that time. I mean, you can. I mean, if you just want to have a vet stick around, but I think Baron Corbin's putting his work in NXT to rehabilitate his character to be able to go to the main roster and actually do some things, especially with the new regime there. He was amazing in Triple H's NXT. That's when I became a fan of Baron Corbin. So, no, I think it's time for him to go up with Braun. If anything, take the feud there.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the best work that Corbin's done in a very, very long time. And I'd like to see that translated to the main roster. I think it'd be good for him to actually have that level of success up there. But, I mean, but in Braun's case, like he's already signed to SmackDown, right? Yeah. Like he actually put name to paper. Yeah. So that's not even a draft. I mean, I guess he'd probably be eligible for the draft, but I don't see them popping him off of SmackDown. They just got him there. But and hell, with the draft too, that would be the ultimate thing. Baron weasels his way back up to SmackDown with Braun Breaker, and then gets just drafted straight back to
get
NXT.
drafted back to NXT.
That would be insane.
How hilarious would that be?
Please don't do that to my boy Baron Corbin. Please don't.
He's been through so much already.
So much already. That'll be the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm good on that.
Over for him after that. But we had a quick again back to someone tried to get an explanation from Lola Vice as to why she jumped Natty Neidhart and kicked her in the shin so viciously, and then she has got the rings knocked out of her by Natty from behind. So we look forward to that feud coming up.
Yeah. Which is dumb. I mean, you're standing right by the walkway. Natalya has to come back to the locker room.
Right. Like, there is one fucking hallway from the main room.
Why are you standing there? You didn't think anything was going to happen?
Like, be somewhere else. So up next, we had the family taking on the No Quarter Catch crew, which in this instance was Damian Kemp and Miles Bourne. Guys, what'd you think of this tag match?
Go ahead, CJ.
Great match. I thought it was an interesting showcase for Stacks and keep forgetting his name. Luca Crucifino. Yeah. I keep getting it mixed up with his I can't even pronounce what his title is, but anyways, I love this match. I thought it was interesting for them character wise, especially what happened Stand and Deliver for them to be picking a fight with the No Quarter Catch crew. So it was even more interesting that they picked up the win. Like, I was expecting No Quarter Catch crew to win, but that's how she goes. Solid match. I Drew Gulak's name getting mentioned on commentary though was one of those moments that I was like, oh, he's probably gonna get a slap on the wrist for that one.
Right.
But no, I loved it. Great match for sure.
Yeah, I don't have pretty much anything to add. You go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Crucifino looked pretty good here, I thought, tonight. He hasn't been on NXT television a whole hell of a lot. We've only seen him work a couple times, really. But I dug it, and which is good because I feel like after the events of Stand and Deliver, the Don might be moving away from the family, because it really looked like there was some dissension there. Like, they were basically ashamed of him for not using the brass knuckles, which, I mean, if he had, he'd be champion right now. So it's a fair, take for him. But, they said he was, on vacation, I believe was how they put it this evening. So he wasn't there tonight, but I don't know. They all look pretty upset with him. So I'm wondering if that's maybe one of the reasons they got Luca Crucifino added to the group. Stacks, since he was the underboss, maybe he just becomes the boss. And we'll see though. But yeah, the match itself was solid. CJ, I agree. I really thought No Quarter Catch crew was going to pick up the win here. But if they are trying to establish Luca as, part of this team, part of a functional part of the team, I kind of understand why they gave him the loss here. And it's not like Charlie Dempsey was taking a loss.
No, but at the same time, like, now that they're down a member, it almost felt like they needed the win more. Like, the family is already fractured, and it feels like they're not going to have the chance to really gain any more momentum unless they get Tony back, or they at the very least, if they're done with Tony, ditch him and move on with the underboss as the boss. But until they had that, they just didn't feel like they needed the win, or at the very least, they didn't need the win as much.
So if they kick Tony D out the family, I mean, what's next for him? Is he gonna redevelop a new character, or because his character is a mob boss? Like, it's kind of hard to remove the mob boss unless you whack him, and then he has to be somebody else. So what's next for him if you kick him out the group?
Does he get thrown off the bridge and come back in 5 months?
Like,
I don't
That's
know.
a good question. I mean,
yeah.
I hope he doesn't get kicked out.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know what kind of character they really could transition him through
Right, like
that wouldn't come across as even more stereotypically Italian.
yeah,
Because that's the thing. Because it's like you already got him as a mob boss. It's like if you want to be like, well, he's still Italian. Then what aspects do you really start pushing? Like it's going to get real dicey real quick if you have him like doing like some sort of like Chef Boyardee type thing or something.
bring back Enzo Amore, let him be his henchman.
There you go. What's Enzo doing?
My
These days?
God.
Oh,
No.
you mean Enzo too?
Speaking of things not to put out into the universe, just don't even mention
What, the
bringing
mic
Enzo
died
back.
back? Oh, you tripping. Oh, what?
No. That is a can of worms that they don't need.
We'll talk off cam.
Moving on.
Alright.
Obafemi was introduced as he made his way to the ring to celebrate his successful retention of his North American Championship from Stand and Deliver. And he was, cutting a solid promo. We've talked, yes, we are all Oba feminists here at the Dirt Sheet Radio. But he was quickly interrupted by probably the wrestler I would have least expected to interrupt Obafemi. But we had Ivar of the Viking Raiders make his way down to NXT. And hey, he's dressed like a normal human being. Would you look at that?
With a giant leather vest.
He's a biker. He's allowed.
I mean, but that's a different kind of leather. You know what I mean?
Viking leather.
Viking leather. He made the
which is still like pretty uncommon in as far as everyday wardrobe goes. You'd have to admit.
But no, I will say he still kind of spoke with the Ivar cadence and language. It wasn't quite as, I guess, unrealistic, for the lack of a better word. But yeah, it was nice to see him kind of just get to be more of himself and just be out there, not, being weighed down by possibly one of the worst gimmicks since Mantar.
So does this kind of forebode that Eric is more injured than originally thought?
Yeah,
that's kind of what I got out of it when I saw him on the mic. I was like, oh shit, well, Eric must be really, really hurt, and he might not be coming back anytime soon, because he's kind of been getting a single push for a while now.
Yeah, Eric's been out it's been at least
since
quarter of a year.
It's been a long time. Like, so I was figuring, he's just going to do his single Viking Raider thing until his partner gets back. And then he shows up tonight and he has a mic in his hand. And my note for this was Ivar has mic time. Holy shit. It wasn't on my bingo card for 2024. It just wasn't. So it was shocking to me. I don't know if it was great or anything. I just spent the whole time really shocked to hear him talk. Like, that was what I was kind of focused on. But being a heel guy on this show, it was very pleasing to see him put boots to asses to Obafemi. That was hilarious because I wanted to see the looks on you guys' faces when I got here. So if we can, let's get into that. What did you think of Obafemi finally meeting somebody that can actually take him off his feet?
I mean, look,
it was great.
Yeah, I dug it. Like, I've said this for a long time. My issue with Ivar is not him. It's not his in-ring ability. Hell, it's not even his mic work. It's just the gimmick of the Viking. That's it. Like I said, I saw him tear it up in Ring of Honor for years.
Okay.
And
I didn't know about his history. So if you can, if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
He and Eric worked together for years and years in NXT, in Ring of Honor. Even again through injury. I'm trying to remember who got hurt. One of them got hurt while in Ring of Honor. It was a motorcycle wreck, and he was out for almost a year.
I think that was Eric again.
Was it Eric again? Okay, so I mean, and maybe that's something. Maybe that accident has maybe caused some more niggling issues for him over the years. But yeah, they were a solid team in Ring of Honor. They've gone through, thank you, John. Yeah, I mean, again, the IWGP champions, like they kicked ass for years, and like I said, they're both incredibly talented.
Bring back War Machine, please.
There you go. That was it. I'll say War Machine. I want to say Heavy Machinery, but it was War Machine.
God, they were War Machine in NXT too. They had a pretty damn good NXT run before they got touched by Vince.
Yeah.
That's probably a bad choice.
Wait, hang on. 2024, that means something little differently.
But yeah, because I mean, that was the thing that they got that stupid gimmick when they got brought up to the main roster, and they were called the Viking Experience, which is somehow worse. And then they changed that, but no, like I think he's a great big man wrestler, Matthew. Like I think that Oba's already so damn good, but working with other agile big man wrestlers, it's going to benefit him so much in the long run. And Ivar's one of those guys that he knows how to work a big man style and still have that burst of athleticism and flippy dippy as it would be. But I look forward to the matches they're going to have. And I hope it's more than one.
Yeah,
I hope. Yep. I don't necessarily want to see Ivar take the strap off of him, but I think he'll be a very realistic threat to Obafemi's title reign. Really, the first realistic threat to Oba's title reign.
Can I also say this is one of those great NXT learning opportunities? Ivar is a great fucking big man wrestler. Great Haas wrestler. Even his single stuff in Ring of Honor was great shit. So Obafemi getting to get in the ring with one of these guys, hopefully for more than 5 minutes, will be a great experience. And I'm with you guys. Can't wait to see more of it.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's been a highlight of Raw, is just seeing him flourish as a singles wrestler. Again, unfortunately, with a Viking gimmick, which, if this pans out, do we see Valhalla, Sarah Logan, Sarah Rowe, whatever you want to call her, being repackaged as well?
Yeah, I mean, she was absent tonight. She wasn't there with him.
Yeah. She's
And
been absent for a little bit though, right? Like even Michael Cole mentioned it on commentary. Like, where's Valhalla? Like, we haven't seen her in the
she wasn't there during the Rumble.
Yeah.
During the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, she wasn't present with him out there. So yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe this is all part of a repackaging. But like, we'll see what they do with him on the main roster if they do this with him, or if he's even on the main roster for a while. Like, they might just have him down in NXT for a minute.
I mean, if you're gonna repackage him, that's a perfect place to do
Eric
it. I wouldn't do it.
Is more injured than we thought.
Yeah, maybe he can't. I don't know, man. I haven't heard any news, but if he's getting repackaged, I don't think we'll be seeing Eric for a while. Like, you can't bring him back as the Viking Raiders. That's not going to work if you repackage him in NXT. So,
yeah. But I mean, so I look forward to it though. Like I said, if they want to let him do something that's not being a Viking, I'm here for it. But yeah, man, you're right. Like, if they do go that route, they're going to have to, change the Eric on his way back in too. But once again, they can just kind of switch them back to what they were. It's just two big badass biker dudes that beat the shit out of people. That's all the gimmick you need when like you can bust the hell out of somebody. Yeah.
To tangent kind of slightly off that, is it not problematic? I can't think of the word, but like, is it more of a hindrance for the crowd to chant meat during matches? Like, I know what they're going for, but I don't know. Well, I wanted to get someone else's thoughts on it.
Hey, I'm telling you, somewhere Sean Stasiak is like, why is everyone chanting for me right now? I don't understand.
I think the only person who hates it is Big E. That poor man is sick and tired. Sick and tired. You done ruined his joke. It's all fucked up.
Oh, really? Like,
yeah, big meaty men slapping meat. That was Big E's thing.
Were you not aware?
That, but like, I knew that. I knew of the origins. I didn't know if he was actually like sick of that joke being pushed into the ground.
You should have seen WrestleMania Sunday on the kickoff. Pat McAfee tried to make a joke about it. Big E just no sells. Doesn't he?
I will have to go back and look. I will have to look at that. But yeah, no. One thing that I wanted to shout out about Obafemi as well, this him kind of carrying on the tradition of giving his opponents their flowers. Like, he did that with Dragon Lee when he won the championship. He did that with Josh Briggs and Dijak here tonight. So I'm glad to see that it's like, he's still, no matter how the feud goes or how he's booked, he's still building on that respect. It kind of builds prestige of the North American title as well, in a way.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. All right, I'll take us in. Meta 4 had a quick interaction with Dijak backstage. Dijak not happy that they lampooned him at Stand and Deliver. So is this going to get us a Noam Dar Dijak match down the road?
Yeah, it's booked for next week.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, it's been a long few days.
I'm right there with you, man.
But all right, so got that coming up. Takes us into Brindley Reese taking on Ms. Jada Parker. Jada gets the win here in 7 minutes and 50 seconds. 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Freudian slip there. As she, hip checks the ever loving hell out of Reese to get the win there. I don't know if I've seen someone use their ass in such an offensive way since Naomi. Like, I look forward to that match on the main roster down the road. There's just going to be an explosion of ass in the ring if that happens.
Please, God.
To clarify, offensive as in an impact
maneuver,
manner, not offensive as in cancelable. No one finds Jada Parker's ass offensive.
Cancelable. No,
it's close. If it move a little more than that, we might have to get an extra couple inches of cloth on there. But I wanted to say, you brought up offensive ass moves. Toni Storm's ass used to scare me. She didn't do it as much anymore, but she used to give people concussions with that thing. We need to keep Jada Parker away from that footage.
Don't let her know what she's capable of. She doesn't know her own strength.
That's a weapon of mass destruction back there.
But all ass jokes aside, Jada Parker is really good, and again, very very fresh to NXT. She has been a good shot in the arm for OTM. I feel like, which they needed. They were really just kind of a little aimless, and I think she's helped give them a little more direction. But that was a great match, though. Overall, I mean, what you guys think?
Go ahead, CJ. I didn't really watch the match.
I mean, I thought it was a good match. I wasn't super invested in it. I agree. I think Jada Parker is bound for great things in NXT. I don't know if she's gonna be held back by OTM. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. But I'm still not sold on OTM as a stable. Like, I think I get that there is a legitimate real world background to Scripps' character that the wrestler himself has, and I'm not trying to discredit that, but this is throughout WWE TV, I've seen him be Reginald the Butler, like getting married on TV to Dana Brooke. So and then comes back to NXT. The Scripps character is originally masked, and I don't know if he was like a hacker or like, I was getting very weird vibes from the character. Like, if you remember back that far, Tyler, but and then to find that person in with OTM and the characters that they've been presented as, it just still doesn't make that connection,
I mean, all right, as a black guy, okay, maybe this is just who he wants to be. Like, I get he's been repackaged 3-4 times. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And previously in WWE, I've been really uncomfortable with the way they showcase black wrestlers. I really have, and the gimmicks that they tend to give them. But I don't know. I think Jada Parker was perfect for all of them. I really do, because just the influx with her looks and her attitude.
Mm-hmm.
If Jada wasn't there, OTM wouldn't work for me. But because she's there and she's the one that seems like all of this feels original from her. Like I don't get any, like I feel like this is who Jada Parker is and who she wants to be. I'm okay with the Reggie thing. Like I just, because at the same time I do keep in mind that Reggie is a product of an old regime. Like it is what it is. Like I can't fault Reggie. This, like, I'm giving a lot of people the opportunity for a new leaf because this is a new era. So the old era, I can't necessarily hold you accountable for because it was somebody else that was booking you like that. I am going to give him a chance to kind of showcase what he can do. It does hit home who he is for me because of my background. So I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I'm not worried about the other stuff because I know who booked that. But as far as what OTM is now, I am digging it. I do feel like they need a little bit more time in the ring. I haven't given them enough time in order for me to judge them on that yet, to be like, this isn't credible or believable. Like, I'm not doing that with OTM yet. But on the other side of that, Jada Parker, oh my God, they got to get her up to the main roster immediately. I got to see her every week. I'm sorry. I just see star potential written all over her. I really do. Yeah. Even she's getting better in the ring every time I see her. She got star potential written all over her, man, and it's not just because of her looks. The looks, the attitude, the heel in ring work is amazing. I love Jada Parker for real. I think
so. Every word you just said about Jada Parker is how I've been trying to translate how I feel about Sol Ruca every single week. Just you said a comment about Jada Parker's heel work, swap in Sol Ruca's face work, like. But that's exactly it. Like, it's just, she's good, she gets it, and yeah, she's got a bright future for sure.
Ooh, absolutely. I just wanted, before y'all moved on from her, you had mentioned her in OTM and the possibility of them holding her back. I just wanted to say that I actually think they all complement each other in a really cool way. I don't think OTM works without her, but I also think as good as she is, she don't got the presence without them. It's something about all of them together that makes them all work in a way that's a little bit, they're working better than they should be. And admittedly, I don't even know who the other OTM guys are yet, but I recognize them now because they've been hanging out with Jada Parker. Like, it's I did want to bring that up, and Matt talked about the authenticity thing. I kind of wanted to hit a point on that too, but you pretty much hit it on the head, brother.
They are, I think, greater than the sum of their parts right now as a unit. But that's part of the point of faction building in professional wrestling. That's the goal of these groups, is to hopefully get multiple people over permanently. That's we saw that, like Nation of Domination. That The Rock went through that. The Rock would not have become The Rock without being placed in the Nation of Domination. And, for our wrestling historians out there, that group was not created to get The Rock over. That group was created to make D'Lo Brown a star. And they tried. They tried real hard. But
D'Lo was over as fuck, man. 1999 D'Lo could have been a fucking world champion in 2000.
Greatest European champion of all time, D'Lo.
He was just too short, I think. Or maybe, for Vince's and all those people, a little too tan.
Shout out to D'Lo Brown,
man. Shout out for real.
Shout out to D'Lo Brown, man.
But all jokes aside, D'Lo was over as hell. Like there's no disputing that. But that's kind of the point of these factions, to get people over. And look what the Judgment Day has done for. Finn obviously was already set, but like it's made Priest. It has helped make Dom. It has definitely helped make Rhea Ripley. And I think that's what we're kind of looking at here with Jada. I think that this is going to be, the base of her origin, and this group is going to help propel her up. I do kind of, Matthew, I wonder if she will outgrow the group more quickly than the group would outgrow her. I felt that way about Rhea. I felt that way about Rhea with Judgment Day too. Like we've talked about her. She's been needing to kind of go away for a while from them, but I'm looking forward. Again, we say this every week, but just the women's talent in NXT is the best in the world right now. I guess it's amazing.
Can I also say I like the idea of a girl with a bunch of heaters, a bunch of dude heaters? it's almost the reverse of how it used to be. You know, a guy comes out, he's got a bunch of sexy valets that don't do shit. I like the idea of a girl that surrounds herself. Like, if they wanted to take this all the way, she could actually be the leader of this faction. And that would be a whole new thing on WWE TV. Like, not like Shaniqua style, you know, like that was a little odd and fetishy, you know what I mean? Like an actual leader of a faction that does shit. Kind of like Rhea Ripley was. Kind of the way they were booking her last year, where she was de facto leader of Judgment Day, even though they didn't call her that. But, you know, like she was calling the shots, and it's if they ever felt like she was outgrowing them or anything, you just shift that dynamic real fast and just look at this.
I honestly think that's where they're heading. Like, she seems like the leader to me now. Like, it
felt that way when they brought her in. Honestly, that first,
You know what it is too? She's got so much charisma. She just overpowers. Like, she feels like the main character. Like, you know,
like as a character, even as far as delivery goes, Scripps is a lot more muted and reserved, and like Jade is more off the wall. So yeah, just absolutely exudes charisma, and you're like, oh, I want to see more of this person.
And hey, we will. I think we absolutely will going forward. But a couple more things to touch on tonight. So we'll kind of move through this backstage segment quickly here, much to Cody's chagrin, or sorry, DJ's chagrin, because this is about Sol Ruca hanging out back there with Miss Ariana Grace. Still, where the fuck is Gigi Dolan?
She's ducking smoke, man.
She ain't showing up to work. She's not wearing those debutante dresses.
She's not doing it, man.
Like,
I saw I saw the NXT signing of Julia, and because it's spelt with the GI as opposed to a J, I thought there was going to be like some twist where surprise, Julia is actually this new Gigi character that that they're introducing from not Adriana, Ariana Grace. But no, I like seeing I'd like to see where they're going with this for sure. But you know, they'll drag it out for a few more weeks and we'll just have to live with it.
And Sol was kind of approached by Lola Vice, who was just, ranting and raving about getting jumped by Natty. And she's basically like, hey, you got what was coming to you. You come on. It's Natty. You screwed with one of the best, and she got the better of you there at the end. But so it looks like this is also going to set up for some action between Ruca and Lola Vice as well, which I know that CJ is never going to complain about getting Sol Ruca matches on television.
Well, and it also feels like if we're going to continue this feud between Lola Vice and Natalya, that Natalya is going to come out, costs Lola Vice the match next week. So Sol Ruca is going to get the win. That always will make me happy. I looked at and I think it was during the Javon Evans match. I couldn't remember his name just because I've never been good with names. But just the athleticism and his very broad move set. Like, he was very talented in the ring and good to, like, he's got a handle on his character. And so I had the mental note of like male Sol Ruca. Like, this is a guy that I can just define as, yeah, he's got it, but I couldn't describe it better than that,
Yeah. I did think about that comparison too, CJ. Actually, you're not the only one. Like,
okay, good.
Yeah, him and Sol Ruca, their move sets and what they can do in the ring are very, very similar. I salute you there. I thought about the same thing watching NXT tonight. I really did.
All right. Well, that will bring us to the main event match of this evening. Axiom and Nathan Frazer taking on the champs, the Wolfdogs. Former champs now, as Axiom and Nathan Frazer picked up the win here in 11 minutes and 34 seconds. A rapid-fire, quick-paced, virtually non-stop match for that entirety of the 11 minutes and 34 seconds. Guys, It's interesting to me that they went this way tonight, why they chose to do it here and not at Stand and Deliver. But we have new tag champs with quite the angle that took place after, and we'll get to that as well. But gentlemen, what did you think of the match proper?
Go ahead, Matthew.
No, I thought it was an amazing match. They were flying everywhere. You got to see Axiom and Nathan Frazier's speed, Braun Breaker's speed off of the ropes. It's insane to me. Every time I see it, I have no idea how they're able to keep up with him when he does that and be able to operate the move correctly.
Right?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. I was expecting them to lose this match. I thought they were going to. I don't know if Tyler. I think me and you both kind of predicted them to lose at Stand and Deliver the show before, so I thought they were going to lose then. So whenever they announced the rematch, I was like, okay, now this is the time for them to lose and get called up or whatever. I was actually kind of expecting Braun to turn, Baron to turn on Braun. That's kind of what I figured that would kind of be the end of their tag team, but it kind of looks like they're still cool. We'll see what the repercussions of this loss is in later weeks if we do see them on NXT. But overall, this was an amazing match to me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, it was, a fantastic NXT, quick paced main event. And again, like I said, like I find it interesting that they waited to pull the trigger for that title change here.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is something to be said that you've got 52 weeks of television that you have to have main events for. And I think sometimes that's kind of the answer to it. But yeah, everybody looked great, firing on all cylinders. And the celebration.
It would have been a better reception to win in the NXT arena, I think, as opposed to an actual arena proper. Not that they wouldn't have gotten cheered as loud, but it also gives Braun Breaker that moment too of, oh yeah, he hadn't won at Stand and Deliver before. Now he has. Now he can go on to the main roster and can just wreck shop up there.
Yeah. And
then nothing happened after the match. Nothing of note. It just segmented on. It just went to the Trent Williams segment from there.
DJ.
Nothing. Nothing of note.
LA Knight likes to say, nah.
The celebration was very short-lived for our new tag champs.
Yes.
As the music hit and walking down the entrance ramp is one Karrion Kross with Scarlett, and then AOP with Ellering jump from the wings and take out the tag champions, leaving them lying broken, battered, crumpled on the mat. CJ was not happy with this. As
you think?
Now has, I kind of got what I wanted. Like, Ivar's a normal fucking dude now, and Karrion Kross has followed you to NXT.
Man, I wouldn't have cared, honestly, if it was just Paul Ellering and AOP. I wouldn't have minded that as much, but just Karrion Kross, man, like, he just doesn't do it for me. He is my new Baron Corbin. He's just not going to... he's really gonna have to work hard to get me invested in his character. Just whatever he's doing.
Challenge Cody Rhodes for the undisputed title. That sounds like it. Yeah.
How is Karrion Kross going to challenge for the world title when he won't bump?
You got a good point.
One of these days, Karrion Kross,
because Cody Rhodes will bump as hell.
Right. Karrion's going to hear about me saying this shit someday, and I'm going to be in trouble if I cross paths with Karrion.
Hey, I'm rooting for the Final Testament. I'm going to get money there. Hey, look.
I've got just as much to worry about. Don't worry, Tyler.
But I felt like this was almost like the shakeup they did with the Good Brothers like a month ago, which resulted in them being there for about a cup of coffee, and they're just gone. No mention of them either. I felt like whatever they had planned for them, they're like, nah, screw it, we're doing something else. Go wherever. It's like, damn, it was basically the same angle, just minus a couple teams. Like, they just went in there, wrecked shop, and stood tall. But we'll see. Like AOP is cool. Like I enjoy watching AOP. So I like Paul Ellering.
Matthew, on Friday, if you remember, call me out if I'm wrong, but I think AJ's going to wind up resuming his feud with Carl Anderson.
You think so?
Addressing his departure from the OC.
Did I miss something? Like, is that just a prediction? I hope so. Like, I mean, they got to wrap that story up.
Stemming from that backstage slap, but they never really addressed it because Gallows and Anderson went down to NXT. So I think they're going to wind up paying that off in some capacity. Even if they further his feud with LA Knight in the background, I think they will wind up addressing that, especially now that AJ's got his new music. They can just have like a throwaway one-on-one match, but I think that's going to wind up happening this Friday.
Well, I agree. I did. I read somewhere today. I don't know when the interview was done with AJ or nothing. I didn't see like a timestamp on it, but I was scrolling through Twitter and I did see that AJ said that his time is almost up. Like, we kind of like in the final stretch now. There's some stories that I kind of want to do before I get up out of here. I don't want to be the AJ Styles. I want to be the AJ Styles that you guys remember. I don't want to be the AJ Styles that's in the ring and you guys are like, well, he's kind of lost a step. That's not what I'm looking forward to. So you might be right, CJ. Yeah, I want that. Like, they need to wrap that story up because we know how AJ feels about them on cam, and we damn sure know how AJ feels about them off cam too in the real world. So it would be great for them to go ahead and finish that story, especially if we're not at the last phase of AJ Styles that we're going to get. The Good Brothers need to be part of that. So I definitely agree that they should do that.
Right on. But gentlemen, so anything else on tonight's episode of NXT before we hop into our jobbers and mega stars of the night?
No, solid show, top to bottom, I thought.
Yeah, and like I said, next week we'll have Joaquin Wilde taking on Rich Holland. Dijak will be wrestling Noam Dar, as previously mentioned, and Sol Ruka will be taking on Lola Vice. I don't think they announced anything else unless I missed it, but so solid start to next week's lineup.
Cage match.
Oh yeah, goddamn, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I was like, okay, there's got to be something with Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was that.
Just completely forgot about the match.
It's late, yeah, it's late. But we'll hop into our tradition of the jobber of the night. CJ, who'd you have as your jobber this evening?
I'm gonna give it to Brinley Reese.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't see it. You know, like I don't know how to sum it up more than that. I don't get it. I don't see it. She's talented in the ring, just something about her character just isn't working for me. So hopefully they can tweak her presentation. Like, if I'm in the minority and you guys disagree, like if you think she's over as hell, that's fine. Like, I
don't think she's over.
Over.
Her character is one that, like, I would be annoyed by after probably like 15 minutes. You know, if I worked with her, I would probably call off the shifts I had with her. Like, she's just like, you can be positive and like bubbly to the point where it becomes off-putting. And I wonder if that will be her eventual heel turn. Is it like people just get so fucking tired of it, or like, you know, her buddies get tired of hearing it's like, just stop. No, I think she's a solid hand. I don't think she's young. She's fresh. Like, this is, she has a long way to come. I think she's got a good base for her ability. But yeah, while I'm not going to say that I don't get it or I don't see it, she's certainly not even, you know, close to being above that kind of, you know, low card level right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess it's my go. My jobber of the night is Lola Vice. I'm sorry, man. It's starting to worry me a little bit about Lola Vice, man. I don't know exactly what's going on with her, but I don't necessarily agree with the way she's been booked. I don't know if that's because she needs to put in more work. I thought her cashing in the contract and her losing the match was weird. Her going to the ring tonight, she she has like this weird vibe. Like it doesn't look like she knows what she's doing or she's not coming along well in NXT so far. I get her heel persona being a fiery Latina. Like I get that. Trust me, like she's doing that great. But the way they're booking her hasn't been great. And the way she attacked Natalya tonight, for it to be that small and not ruthless at all, it just did nothing for me, especially when I feel like her character should be a lot better than what it is. So she's my jobber of the night, unfortunately, because Lola, you know how I feel about you. So I didn't want to say that, but it is what it is for tonight. It's just tonight.
Just tonight. Guys, I really struggled to find someone that I felt like fell down that far for me this evening. So I'll kind of piggyback with both of you. I think you both made very good points on who you chose. I do agree, man. I'm starting to worry a little bit about Lola too. Like she seemed like she had again like a real solid start there, but she's not been. She needs to turn it up, and I don't know if. I struggle to say it's an issue with booking and with her being told what to do and it not working. I think it's a situation of she's being told what to do and it probably should work, but it's not working just due kind of that her disconnect. But hey, again, she's got time to turn this around
for sure.
And you know that kick did look hella weak. That wasn't the best offense. That was an offensive maneuver.
That was the finger poke of doom to the shin.
Like
that's what it looked like.
But I do hope they do just establish that Natty's got just grossly weak shins going forward. I do agree with that.
I need to check on that comics. I've never heard that before.
Right, like, I'm gonna look into that. Like, is this like the Diet Coke thing? Like, is there actual like traction here? Because I saw memes for weeks being like, Natalya Neidhart, something, punchline, Diet Coke boobs. And it's like, I asked dozens of people, I'm like, what's the joke here? And no one could tell me. To this day, I have no idea. It was just a short-lived meme trend, I guess. Poor Natty. Yeah. She's gotten some bad gimmicks over the years, guys. But
well, now you've revived it now that you've said it on stream.
Yep, Natty's Diet Coke boobs are making a comeback real soon. Jesus. But that will bring us.
Wait, did you just call it what I think you just called it?
What?
What did you say? Can you say that again, please? What did you say?
Natty's Diet Coke boobs?
Yeah, that was I thought it meant something else. We'll talk off camera. I can say it on camera. I don't want to say it on camera.
I don't know.
I thought that reference was off camera.
Well,
there's something I'm not picking up on, so we'll talk about this after.
It's because you can use them as a shelf. No, essentially a tabletop, a surface.
Thank you, John. You got it.
All right, we'll touch back to this after the show. But we're gonna hop into our megastar of the night before we get in any fucking trouble on air.
I think I know who Matthew's megastars of the night are gonna be.
Oh yeah, you got it. It's definitely the Final Testament. I'm fully prepared to come on here and say that to continue my hero work. Definitely going to do that. I'm sticking to the storyline. My megastars of the night is simply the Final Testament because when they show up, I cannot wait for CJ's reaction on the show. I don't know what it is. It's just his hate for the Final Testament is insane. I think it's starting to eclipse the hate he had for WWE when they screwed Cody over last WrestleMania. Like I feel like it's getting to a fever pitch at this moment. So the best of the Final Testament you can give us, please HBK have them scheduled every week. And hey, Nick, all this, they need to be on SmackDown still. Don't just send them just send them to NXT. Don't do that. They need to be on SmackDown still wrecking shit so I can gather twice a week. Please.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's get Adam Pearce on the phone too while we're at it. Like,
might as well. Yeah, let's just have.
Can we talk to TK? Can we get them appearing on Dynamite as well?
Hey, watch it.
And John's pissed.
Oh god, whoever took Scott D'Amore's job, I can't remember his name, but yeah, sure, throw him on TNA too, why not?
Global superstar,
the whole circuit, doing the whole circuit. But Jesus Christ,
I tolerate this job so much.
Speaking of hate and vitriol, My megastar of the night is going to come as a shock, but it is Ivar.
Nice. I like that
Oh,
one.
I
nice.
was just so happy to see him get to be much closer to the character that I watched him develop and work as in Ring of Honor, early NXT. Like, it was nice. Like I said, he needs to bring the talking back a little bit. It felt like he was transitioning out of the Viking speech. Like, it was almost like a mix of like a way a normal dude would talk and the way Ivar spoke. But I really dug it. I'm really looking forward to his matches with Obafemi. I hope that they, like you said, Matt, don't make it like a 5-minute thing. Like, you need to give them, 12 to 16 minutes on pay-per-view. Like, I want to see that out of them. I think it'd be absolutely spectacular. Meat slapping, as the audience likes to chant. But so Ivar, you won me back over tonight. I mean, I always liked him as a worker, but god damn, if this gimmick is gone permanently, I'll just be so happy. But so Ivar, he gets my nod tonight. CJ.
My megastar is gonna be Trick Williams. I mean, he is still phenomenally over. Like, just him being able to walk out to a crowd any size and every single person in that crowd is chanting "whoop that trick" along with his music. For an NXT talent to have that kind of homegrown momentum is a sign that they're really doing something right down there. And if they manage to replicate that, then you've got an entire generation of bona fide stars that you're just able to turn out. And Trick Williams has it. So he's megastar of the night material for me, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's worth mentioning too that like he was the last segment of the night. They'd gotten a lot of action. The crowd was hot all night long. The loudest they were the entire show tonight was when Trick came out, when they were shouting "whoop that trick" between the beats of his theme. And I was actually a little taken aback by it. I'm like, y'all got to be a little more tired than that at this point. But no, they've been waiting all night to see what Trick had to say and to cheer Trick. So now the man's a star. Like, and we're gonna be saying that for probably about the next 20 years.
For sure.
Yeah. But gentlemen, fantastic first NXT of this new Leveckian era of professional wrestling that we have rolled into. Before we get to the flurry of plugs that we have here at the ends of shows, anything else on tonight's NXT?
No.
All right.
I usually have some sort of something, but I'm just tired, man.
Yeah.
Like,
let's
get to
right. That's what we're all feeling like Shrek right now.
It's been a long weekend, man.
Some plugs. I know for sure. I know John will probably pop on here in a second, but just say the one thing I know I can tell y'all: Dirt Sheet Radio rewinds every night of the weekday week, Monday through Friday. We've got it on the weekends when we got PLEs. I don't think we're still Collision, still kind of the unloved stepchild, unfortunately, of our run of shows. But that's just because PLEs happen on Saturday nights. It's hard to orchestrate all that. But Monday through Friday, we are here bringing analysis as it happens, immediate coverage. That's what we're here for. But John, what else we got coming?
We got a lot of shit all the time. So much shit. I'm just gonna go to bed. No.
Why you do that to my boy Seth? That was wrong. I got y'all in the group chat. Say less. Y'all thought I was a heel before. We're not about to keep doing this to my boy Seth. Wrong. That's not happening.
That's your Yamcha. We got our partnership with Comic Book Click. As always, check out the Comic Book Click social media hubs, and most importantly, check out comicbookclick.com/Dershi Radio. That's where we live now. We exist on social media, but comicbookclick.com allows us to say, do, and exist however we fucking want. So definitely check out.
Can't touch it.
Nobody. Zuckerberg, Musk, all those fuckheads, all those evil rich people. None of you can touch me now. Anyway, Dershi Radio, fucking Comic Book Click. Check us out. Make sure to get all the Duff and Pod shows as they come out. Oh my God, I done shit myself. Duff and Pod specializes and pop culture podcasts, fucking cinema podcasts. They do Star Wars, Marvel, fucking Revenge of the Sequel, where they literally just talk about sequel films. It's incredible. And centered right in the center of all that shit is our little flagship podcast, Dirt Sheet Radio. So make sure to check out all the Dolphin Pod shows everywhere podcasts are available. Catch the Major Issue Show every single Thursday on Comic Book Click. They are covering all types of superhero content, movies, books, posters. It doesn't fucking matter. They got a podcast about it. Make sure you go check them out. Monk.com, promo code DSR10 for all you aromatherapy sniffing people. Shop DSR on our Shopify store. My wife really likes to draw, and it gives her an outlet. So please support that. Cold Case Project on YouTube. Our boy Nick Larocco's brother has a cold case themed YouTube, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of hours of content. If you're into that kind of shit, it is there, all there for you to check out. And that's my very unprofessional read for the night. You guys go ahead and say goodbye.
We got
to the
this job done. That's all that matters.
All right, gentlemen. So, Matthew, I think our regulars obviously know, but tell the good folks at home and around the world where they can find you next and where they can find you in general.
You can find me here every Tuesday and Friday. NXT recap, Friday night SmackDown recap. Also, do you see this logo behind me? You see this? 3NT Wrestling with my boy Danny Ocean and Vaughn Casey coming to Sundays. I do believe we might start this Sunday. I don't really know how much I should tell y'all. We do have some surprises cooking. We will have some guests coming along with us, so I can't wait. Shout out to my boy Danny Ocean putting in work. He was at WrestleMania. He said he was going to come home because he was too cold. I called him a ussy, and he stayed. So I salute him for that. I'm glad he had an amazing time, and y'all can catch me there, man. Can't wait to see y'all. Y'all already know what it is.
Hell yeah. CJ, tell the people where you're at. Or not literally where you're at. Don't give your address. We've talked about this before, but
It's 125. No, just kidding. I am at CJ Carter 22 on Twitter all week long, and I'm here every Tuesday night recapping NXT, every Friday night recapping Friday Night SmackDown. Lots of programming in the works here at Dirt Sheet Radio that I'm very excited to be a part of, and I cannot wait until we're ready to start making announcements on it. But there's stuff cooking. You're gonna like it, I think.
Fantastic. We're all eating well here at Dirt Sheet Radio, or yeeting well as
no
as
yeet.
It would be. No.
No, we are gonna yeet. We are yeeting.
No yeeting good in there, but I am as always Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, at PW Hipster most places, but I do most of my stuff on the Pro Wrestling Hipster over on Facebook, and you see me here every Monday night, every Tuesday night, all the WWE PLEs, all the NXT PLEs here, breaking everything down live with the best people to talk about wrestling with in the world. And as CJ said, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up soon. I know on a personal level, I've got a lot of written content I'm talking about. Really excited to get that out there and get some stuff up on the website there. So it's a lot of fun, guys, and we appreciate that you spend your time with us when we're here live. We don't have a show without you actually watching it. Otherwise, we're just talking to each other, which is fine. I do it anyway. But it's nice to have an audience, and it's nice to know that y'all care enough to tune into us live and on delay, and we appreciate the hell out of that. And we will see you guys next week for more NXT discussion. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Well, I just wanted to acknowledge this very nice greeting. Thank you very much, sir. I don't want to mispronounce the very important holiday, but I give you your sentiments right back to you. Y'all have a good night, though. We'll see you.
Sure, everybody.
Yeet.